This is the second video for Travel Expense Pro, and I'm going to cover some things that I did not cover in the first video that'll be helpful if you come up with questions. The first one is I'm going to navigate to the travel schedule, and I want you to notice that there's a blank spot here. If you go to the navigation in there, on all the following screens, you're going to have a main menu button that will take you back to the main menu. That's the first thing. The second one is I want to cover the category list portal at the bottom of the screen here. On the iPad, when you're in the expense screens, either business expense or other expense, there's a category list field. In that category, it's a drop-down list, and these are the items that are in that list. Now, when you click on the field in the actual screen, it's going to drop a drop-down. Well, what you want to be able to do, because you can't edit it on the iPad in a drop-down list view, you're going to come to this screen and you're going to go ahead and come through and look at all the items that are in here. Now, if you wanted to edit one, so for example, it says Fees Other, and I wanted to edit this, I could go ahead and click in here and then edit that field. Now, let me explain. If you have all your items that you add when you get this application as new and you edit them the way you want to, do not come back and edit ones you're using. It's going to be confusing to you and other users if they try to use the application. For example, if I had airfare in there, and the next time I drop the drop-down list and I want airfare and it's not there, I'm going to be confused because I didn't know what happened to airfare. So that being said, you do not want to edit out something that's already in use. Obviously, if you're in here and you want to edit something, you can pick really quick from the drop-down list. You can do bold and underline, but I don't suggest you do that in this screen. That's something you do not want to do. You do not want to add or delete a record, so don't use that. You do not want to use any of these over here in this particular one. This is the copy. If I wanted to copy something, I could copy it. Now, I don't want to do that. Those are things that we didn't cover before. And if you want to get rid of this little menu option and drop it down just to the done, you can do that. And then you can click in here to see, in this case, we're not going to be doing any omitting of records, or we're not going to show omitteds. And we're looking at 19 items that are in this list. So we're not going to be doing any changes in this screen other than editing the individual items. So we're done here. Clicking done will get us out of here. The next thing we want to do is we want to go navigate down to the business expense list view. So business expense list view. Now in this screen, I'm going to do a simulation. Let's say, for example, when you come to the screen, there's 200 or 300 items on this screen, and yet you want to pick off some of them that's for a date range, say from the 25th through the 28th for your name. What you can do is you can scroll down in the listing to the date range for that period of time where you had an itinerary. And what you want to do is you want to pick where your name is at and highlight that field like this. Now when you highlight the field, what you're going to be doing is you're going to go up to the Do Action menu and you're going to come down, you're going to say Omit that record and say there's another one in that date range that I want to highlight, which is the 26th, and I want that in my list. So I'm going to say Omit that record. Now that I've done the omit records for the items that I want to actually see, I'm going to go ahead and go back up to the list. I'm going to say Show Omitted. And you can see now those are the ones that are going to be in the list. Now, I only did 2, but maybe there's 3 or 4 or 5 days in that particular itinerary, so you're going to end up with 3, 4, or 5 ones that you omitted that you now can either export or print. In this case, I could print the schedule of the items, or I can export them out as a tab delimited file or as an Excel file or as a database file. When you export, it's going to pop up a field to pick from. And in this particular case, I can pick the fields, the individual ones I want to export by clicking off or on to the check mark. Or I can deselect them all or select them all. I have that option. If I want to cancel, I can cancel. And when I'm done picking what I want to say done, then I want to pick how I want them actually to go out. They can be a database file, a comma delimited, a HTML, an Excel, a merge file, and usually merge files are something you're going to go over to Word and use. And a tab delimited file is something I can go ahead and do in a word processor of any kind, or Excel if I want to bring them over in Excel and make some kind of a record thing at them. Now in this case, you can use CSV files. They're comma separated files. Where, say for example, I wanted to go out to Gmail and I wanted to add a list of things in Gmail, say for example names and addresses, I can do that basically by using comma separated. Okay, let's go back. Now you have also, you can send out the actual items that are exported in an email, or you can save them to the photo library on your iPad. You can also pick and use the order in which they're actually sent out by using the layout format for whatever screen you're in the format that they're actually used. In this case, being in this screen, I don't want to do that. So I'm going to say done or cancel, and it's going to come back out here. And now obviously I can also do the print, and it's going to bring up a print dialog, which is very similar. And I can do the number of pages I want to print. And in the print range, I can say the current record, the found set. In this case, if I say the current record, the one that's highlighted will print. If I say the found set, whatever is in the list of items that are in the list view, that's what's going to be sent. Then I can say blank records for as formatted, or underline with underlines or boxes. I don't really care to do that, so I'm going to say go back, and I have everything set up the way. I can use my orientation, or I can set the paper size. I can scale it if my printer allows me to scale it. I can do the maximum DPI and pick whatever I want, or I can send it out as a PDF, either in it to view it, to send as an email, or save it to the photo library again. So these are the different things that people really ask questions about, and they're covered in this video, so it should make it a lot easier for you to use and move on and really enjoy this application. Now the last thing I'm going to point out is make sure that you look at the bottom of the screen, because as you edit and change the information that's in here, it's going to summarize differently based on the records that you actually have in selection. So if you wanted to print or know what the actual amount of the fees or whatever you did as far as your reimbursement for business for the dates of travel that you're having, then that would be the number at the bottom of the screen, which is the expense summary. The same thing goes for the other expense list view. There is a summary total at the bottom of the screen. Thank you for taking this video.